I'm just going to introduce Barry to you guys. So if you want to attract new clients with confidence, you want to create messaging that clearly communicates the value of your workouts in people's lives, and you want to position yourself competitively in the marketplace. As a fitness business brand strategist, Barry Kostabi knows what it takes to accomplish all three. He has taught group fitness classes in nearly every modality and helped build fitness brands internationally for over 15 years. He also has deep knowledge in both communications and consumer psychology. As a result, he deeply understands the wants and needs of your dream clients. This puts him in the unique position of being able to help your company clarify and define the best way to communicate your value in a way that causes your dream clients to feel like it would be foolish not to sign up for a class. So without any further pause, I again welcome you. I'm Deborah. I'm the Channel Partnership Manager with Wellness Living, and we're really excited to have Barry present to you today, and we're really confident that you're going to learn a lot. So take it away, Barry.
Amazing. Thank you, Deborah. Welcome, everybody. Today is really about three things. Number one, showing you how incredibly unique you are. You have exceptional value that no one else can provide in the way that you do it. Number two, I want to illuminate how to confidently and easily attract more of your dream clients by strategically stepping into your uniqueness and properly leveraging your value. And number three, I want to pack as much value into a 30-minute presentation as I can. But my superpower is being able to draw out your uniqueness and value and show it to you in the form of a brand strategy. And I'm going to prove that to you in real time on this call, because today, one of you is going to walk away with a brand new brand strategy. But my name's Barry, and ever since I was young, I've been obsessed with the power of storytelling, whether it was Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I'm obsessed with those kinds of epic stories. And yeah, couple that with a degree in psychology and years of experience internationally as a group fitness instructor, master trainer, and consultant, it's no wonder that I've become a fitness brand strategist, which is really just a fancy way of saying I help you determine the most compelling story about how you and your business can make your dream client's life better in a way that showcases so much value that it makes them feel like they'd be crazy not to sign up for your intro offer. Now, the reason most fitness businesses struggle with making this happen is that, simply put, they build their brand strategy around the wrong thing. And the funny thing is that someone who turned out to be extremely successful made the same mistake when they first started out. But when they made the correct shift, everything changed. That person was Steve Jobs. In the late 1970s, Apple Computers was a very young company. The computer that they had launched the company with, the Apple I, gave them enough money to make the Apple II. And in order to help boost sales, Steve Jobs ran a series of ads for the Apple II computer. And you can see that ad right here. Now, this first Apple II ad spoke about all the amazing things that this computer could do. Like, this is going to sound silly, but it could plug into your TV. You could play Pong on it. It had incredible graphics in 15 colors, a familiar typewriter-style keyboard, a huge list of impressive specifications, and the fact that you could use it even if you had no previous experience with a computer. And all of that's aside from the fact that this is clearly a super sexist ad. But these ads bombed. And as a result, the company was not performing well financially. So Steve Jobs left to help build Pixar. You know, Pixar is the company that is so good at storytelling. They managed to make so many of us cry every time we watch any of their classic films like Up, WALL-E, Inside Out, Finding Nemo, and Toy Story, let alone all the Oscars, Grammys, and Golden Globes that they've won throughout the years because of their stories. It was through working with them that Steve Jobs realized the power of storytelling. And a few years later, when he returned to Apple, he started running a new ad campaign. He tore up that huge 2-page spread and just boiled it down to 2 simple words: think different. And I'm sure many of you have seen these ads before, in which Steve Jobs famously says, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do." And these commercials and ads featured images of people who have shaped our world, such as Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, Pablo Picasso, and more. So type think different in the comments if you've heard this quote before and you remember these ads. As a result of running this campaign, customer loyalty and sales just skyrocketed ever since. Now, let's break this down. What happened here and why these commercials are so iconic? I mean, who quotes a commercial anyway, right? Was that Steve Jobs realized that people weren't buying a computer. Instead of the product itself, people were buying what they believed about how owning an Apple could shape their current or desired identity, their dream outcome for their life. And this didn't happen by accident. Apple shifted their focus from just talking about the computer to shifting their focus to demonstrating their core belief that those who think differently can do great things with their passion and may even go on to change the world. They told a story that communicated that buying an Apple means you're one of those people. In fact, you always have to be a little different to buy an Apple computer is something that Steve Jobs always said. Now, their customers deeply resonated with this. They recognized they were purchasing a Mac so they could accomplish great things because they too identified as people that thought differently. Steve Jobs built a brand strategy that showed his customers how buying his computers fit into the story of their life and what they aspired to be. He appealed to their identity on an emotional level. And on this foundation, Apple became the company that it is today. Type feeling it in the comments now if you feel that from Apple. This is exactly why brand strategy is so important, especially in our industry, because very little fitness branding and marketing demonstrates a really deep understanding of people's emotions, needs, motivations, and psychology. When Steve Jobs first started out, he focused on the wrong thing. He was trying to sell people a computer by talking about all of its features. And what I want you to recognize is that it's very similar to the way most fitness businesses try to sell reformer Pilates because it's low impact and will tone your body from head to toe, or indoor cycling because you'll burn X number of calories in an hour and you'll be part of a great community. In either case, you're selling a product and its features. As Steve Jobs eventually came to understand, products and features aren't the main drivers behind why people make decisions, particularly buying decisions. The real reason people exercise has nothing to do with exercise. Just like the reason you get on a plane has little to do with the airplane. Something I like to say all the time is sell the sandy beach, not the flight that you're getting on, right? I've heard so many stories from my clients about their members sharing how a class gave them the confidence to ask for a promotion, or stories of clients leaving a toxic relationship, feeling like themselves again, finally running that marathon, and so many more. In fact, when I left teaching in Dubai, I had a client who had been coming to my classes for years come up to me, and she told me, you never would have known this, but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for your classes. And that stuck with me ever since. I feel like that's why so many of us, if not most of us, do this, right? And this is why I help fitness businesses draw out and clearly communicate their value through a strong brand strategy. You just want to think of a brand strategy as a roadmap for your business's identity. It's not about having a catchy logo or a nice website or hot trainers, state-of-the-art equipment, or a beautiful studio build out for that matter. It's about deciding who your business is and how you want people to see it. You want to imagine your brand as a person. What values does it have? How does it talk to people? And what makes it stand out? Having a clear brand strategy is like giving your business a personality that resonates with your dream clients. It helps you be consistent in your messaging and your actions, which builds more trust. And when people trust your brand, they're more likely to choose your product or service over others. It's about making a really good impression and building a strong relationship with your audience. Developing a brand strategy is like giving your business an identity that sticks into people's minds and is perceived as highly valuable in terms of how it can make their lives better. And that's why I use that example from Apple. And it's the reason why, one of my clients, Lucinda, was able to leave her full-time job and focus solely on growing her business. She was able to get so many more clients by getting really, really clear on her brand strategy. And one of my favorite pieces of her story is that not only did she make a really big promise with her brand strategy, she was able to deliver on that promise to the point where one of the teams that she was working with felt like she was so instrumental to them winning their championship that they gave her a ring. Similarly, with Cody of Cure Studio in Salt Lake City, he was able to get his marketing efforts more targeted and effective than ever before. And he feels so much more momentum going into his business. And it's also why my clients at Hue the Core in San Rafael were able to launch their studio with a really strong brand strategy and immediately become triple waitlisted in every class. So like I mentioned at the very start, I'm going to give one of you a brand new brand strategy on this call. So if you want me to show you how your brand strategy could be improved live on this call, type "pick me" in the comments, because Deborah is going to pick one of you and I'll take you through that process in just a few minutes. And here come the pick me's. I'm hoping that everyone else who is not chosen is able to learn a lot from the process that I take this person through so that you're able to do this for yourself. I'll let a few more of those come in and Deborah pick a lucky winner. But when you lack a really strong brand strategy and only focus on selling the type of classes that you offer, you quickly run into three really big problems. The first problem is that you limit your ability to reach more of the people that you're meant to serve. When you market and sell only the kind of workout you offer, you severely limit the number of people you can reach with your offer. On average, studies show that you reach 3% of your available market. I want you to take a look at this graph. What happens when you market and sell the type of class you offer is that inherently you're speaking to this top 3% only, the people who already know the value that your specific type of classes that you offer bring to their life. And they're looking for where they can take one. The majority of these people are already into fitness. Maybe there are some in there who, through their research, have come to believe they'll enjoy your type of class or it will help them achieve what they want, but you're leaving 80 to 97% of your available market on the table because you're speaking to a very specific type of person. And you're likely not having as deep an impact and changing as many lives as you hope because you're mostly speaking to people who already love to exercise. Problem number two is you're making marketing way harder than it needs to be. When you build your brand strategy around the type of classes you offer, you put yourself in a position where you have a lot of potential objections to overcome. I don't need to tell you this. I know you're experiencing it. But when you frame your value around the type of workout you offer, you leave it up to your potential new members to color what you offer with their own perceptions, preconceived notions, and beliefs. They'll color it with past experiences with fitness or another experience that they had at another studio, what they've heard, seen, or perceived in the media about your type of workout, their friend's bad experience. They'll color it with what they believe they're capable of. And you're giving away nearly all of the power you have to frame your value in a way that will address their concerns, show them why what you offer is the best solution to the problem they're looking to solve, and inspire them to sign up. This is also the best way to tap deeper into the market and reach people who never would have considered coming to your type of class to solve the problem that they're experiencing. And that's what we want. The third problem is that you easily get lost in the noise. When you build your brand strategy around the type of classes you offer, you're forced to compete with everyone else who offers your type of workout in your city and online. This is called commoditizing your business, and you're forced to compete with all these other players on the level of price and features. Have you looked at the websites of most fitness businesses? Doing what I do, I look at a lot of them and they all say the same thing. High energy workout for all ability levels that will leave you dripping in sweat in a supportive community so you can meet all of your fitness goals, or, some variation of that, right? It's the same thing you experience when you go to the store to buy a new blender. All of them look pretty much the same, so you wind up making a choice based on its price and the features you want. And this puts you in a position where you're constantly having to keep up and hype yourself up more than your competitors. And often it's just a race to the bottom on price. Let alone you got to compete with some giant companies with massive budgets. It's just not a good situation to be in. If you don't want to struggle with these problems, type "not me" in the comments. Okay. I want to show you in real time how you can avoid these pitfalls and realize how powerful it can be when you revise your brand strategy. So Deborah, are you there?
I am here.
Have we picked someone to bring up on stage?
Not quite yet. I'm in the finalists right now. If you have to give me another minute because it's hard to tell from everyone's just first name only.
Okay.
Yeah, Barry, if you want to address a quick question while we're figuring this out, James has asked, how do you establish a brand that is far superior than the local competitors? I guess that's kind of what you're talking about, but if there's anything you wanted to speak to.
I'm seeing a lot of the same questions. I see a similar question from Tiffany in the Q&A. How you remain competitive as a boutique Pilates studio when Club Pilates is less than a mile away. As I've been alluding to through the presentation, the answer lies in who you are and what you believe and what you value. There's a reason why you opened your business, and there's a reason why you offer your classes the way that you do. Something I like to say is that it's really hard to read the label from inside the bottle, which is just a fancy way of saying it's really difficult to be objective to your own business when you're in it. And that's where like I said, that's what my superpowers are. I'm able to draw out what makes you unique and show it to you, and then help you structure it in a way that clearly showcases your value apart from all of your competitors in the area. And it's all about telling the same story, recognizing a problem that your dream clients have that you are uniquely equipped to solve, and then showcasing yourself as an authority that can help them solve those classes through the types of workouts that you offer. So I see Shika's question, social media versus email campaigns. The strategy, this kind of bleeds into like marketing strategy, which is, I consider it an extension of brand strategy. It's the way that you talk to your dream clients. It's the way that you communicate them. The story is the same, but the way that you communicate it in an email campaign versus social media is going to be a little bit different, because in an email campaign, they're a very warm lead. They're very interested in what you have to offer. So you're going to be talking to them a little bit differently than on social media, which is where you'll probably be creating more of a space for those people who have that problem to feel seen. I see Taylor says one problem we have is that everyone is our dream client. Now, this is an interesting question because I hear this all the time. People want to serve as many people as possible. And what happens when you strive to do that is that you're forced to water down your messaging enough to reach everyone. And I'm willing to bet that if I were to challenge you on that, are you equally equipped to help a 20-year-old athlete as well as a 60-year-old person who is in a lot of pain? I'm willing to bet that we're not able to go as deep. And you're not able to provide a strong service for either of those people. But what happens when we get really clear on one specific type of problem is not about alienating anyone. It's about saying this is what we are uniquely equipped to do, and you are welcome here if you have this problem. And that actually serves you so much better, because you can have someone in their teens or someone in their 40s who has the same problem. Deborah, how are you feeling? Are you ready to bring someone up?
Yeah, I actually had 2 finalists, so I guess we'll go with one, and then if you have time, maybe you can do a second. If not, then all good. So we've
Okay,
got, do you want me to announce it? Because I haven't told them.
go for it. Yeah.
Okay, Holly, who's got a studio called warriorgoddessfitness.com.
Okay.
I actually sent you a message just now, Barry, with the, was it URL?
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Awesome. Can we unmute Holly and allow her to come up on stage?
I think we're doing that right now, Barry.
Yep, we've just promoted her. She's just coming back in now.
All right.
And we have Holly there, yeah.
Hi,
Hey, Holly.
Holly.
Hi. Oh
How
my
are
gosh,
you?
I'm so nervous now. This is great.
Thank you so much for being brave and stepping up on stage. I'm just going to be asking you a few questions about yourself. And for everyone else that is watching and listening along, I want you to ask yourself the same questions. If you have access to a notepad to write down your answers, it would be really smart of you to do that so you can get the most out of what I do here with Holly. But as we announced, Holly owns Warrior Goddess Fitness. So Holly, why don't you tell me what it is that you offer at your studio?
Okay, so Warrior Goddess Fitness, we offer yoga. We offer basically beginners fitness classes. We offer, so our demographic is to cater to women, but not exclusive to women, but basically beginners fitness.
Okay.
So it's
Now,
yoga, aerial, that type of stuff. I'm sorry.
no, that's no problem. Okay, so I'm going to be asking you a few questions that are kind of deep questions that have to do with your beliefs, your values, your philosophies. So I hope you don't mind going deep with me here. But my first question I want to ask you is, you offer primarily yoga, you're saying?
No, that's how we originally started out,
Okay.
but yeah, no, we
Okay.
don't. We offer like a mixture.
Something that I like to say is you're best equipped to serve the person that you once were. And the reason is because you're able to show empathy to what that type of person is experiencing, which is what you've experienced in the past.
Mhm.
So I'm curious, Holly, what was it that drew you to yoga initially, or really got you hooked on fitness for you in your life story?
Mm. Well, with yoga, I mean, I was always in fitness. I just like how I felt. I've done it since I was young, late teens, I guess, early 20s. I'm now 55. So I've always enjoyed how I felt. I've liked how my body looked. moving on to yoga, I was experiencing back pain, and I found that helped me with that. And, I just got so much stronger. And so I just like that, the body weight and opposed to going to the gym. So it was just an addition to my workout.
Okay, so I want to tease that apart a little bit. When you said you enjoyed how you felt, maybe you could elaborate a little bit more. I'm assuming you felt like you were in less pain. You mentioned your back pain. Can you explain more specifically what you felt?
Yeah, I mean, it helped with the back pain. I enjoyed, like I always lifted weights. So I came from that type of background. So whenever I started doing yoga, I just appreciated, learning how to the strength, the inner strength that I got from the body weight exercises of yoga. I guess that's the best, that core strength. Anybody can lift weights, I guess. But yeah, it's just a different development with the body.
Got it. I'm primarily, yoga was the first thing I ever started teaching, so I can strongly identify with that. How did developing that inner strength make you feel? How did going through your day with less pain make you feel? Did that have an impact on other areas of your life?
It did. It was empowering. It was empowering.
How was it empowering?
Just like knowing that, not experiencing the pain and knowing that it came from something that I was physically doing for myself, and being able to, the correlations there, that helped significantly, mentally, emotionally. And then at the same time, it was empowering, whenever you're going from beginner pose to yoga, and now you're establishing all these different connections within the body, and you're learning and you're building that strength, where you're learning to do, a handstand and a headstand and stuff like that is just an amazing transition on the body and mentally.
Right. Did that fill you with confidence that you felt in other areas of your life?
Indeed. Indeed.
Did you notice yourself behaving differently or choosing to do different things in other areas of your life outside of fitness as a result of that?
Yeah, I think I had embarked more, like, I guess, in the meditation, more with, I guess, engaging with nature and things of that sort.
So what I think I'm hearing is you had started adopting more positive habits, and did you start dropping off more negative habits because you liked how you were feeling?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Just taking some notes.
Okay. Oh my God.
And let's talk about the other end of the spectrum. When you were living with a lot of pain and discomfort in your body, what was that like? How did that make you feel?
I felt restricted, limited, not happy all the time. I try to, I'm one of the people that I try to work through the pain and, mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
But it, sometimes it would take its toll. It gets a little depressing.
Absolutely. I've been there before. Now, okay. Is there anything else you think I should know about any of that?
I mean, like once I had opened the studio, one of my motivations for opening the studio is.
Yeah, that was my next question. I'm glad you went there.
Okay, so I'm a breast cancer survivor. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. And at the time I was going
Congratulations.
through, thank you so much. I was going through, I had just separated from my husband, and we went through like a horrible, traumatic divorce, just things that were unnecessary. And so part of the name comes from warrior goddess, because I just felt I was constantly in a battle. It's like he was constantly coming at me from different ways. And I wanted to get back into fitness, after my surgeries and stuff. And at the same time, I wanted to be able to empower women, provide support, nurture, and just provide a community for women through fitness and wellness, and showing them that, they can be resilient, be strong, and move past, the hurt and stuff. So that's how it came about.
I love that.
Thank you.
This is all so good. Thank you for sharing. You mentioned that you primarily cater to beginners. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So as I said, I've pretty much always been in fitness. I've been, like, I was a Zumba instructor. I had started working at a gym as a Zumba instructor, and gradually, went to front desk and just, grew in the ranks at the gym. To where I was eventually supposed to become an owner. That's a whole nother drama. But just engaging with the people, like, I knew a lot of times that people want to do things, but sometimes, they're hesitant because they think that something may be too advanced. They're not really sure, And one thing, like, even whenever I taught my Zumba classes, it was more so about just engaging everyone. I could have a full class, and I would go around and work with each individual person or dance with each individual person. If I saw somebody peeking in from outside, I'd go and grab them and have them come in, just to make it fun and engaging. Even if it was a man.
Right.
So yeah, so it's always been, I guess, just to make things accessible for everyone.
Absolutely.
So that's, I guess, how I ended up with, the beginners, just to make everything accessible for everyone.
I love that. Well, I feel like, and I'm keeping this a little bit more condensed and faster pace for the sake of the session today, but I feel like I've learned a lot through those questions about what I feel your story is and what your brand strategy should be centered around. So now's the time where I kind of echo that back to you. And this is the part that I'd like everyone who's still here to really focus in on, how I'm going to explain as if I'm Holly to her dream clients the value of what it is that she offers. So Holly, are you ready?
Yes, I'm grabbing my pen.
Okay. We never know what life is going to throw at us. And sometimes we just get hit with a lot. Trauma, illness, injury, divorce, loss. And all of those things can have a tremendous weight on our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. And before we know it, we're waking up in a lot of pain, emotionally and physically. We don't feel like ourselves anymore. You feel drained energetically all the time. You find yourself struggling with stress and depression. And it feels impossible to find a way back to who you were before. And that's why, and I'm speaking from your perspective, Holly, I opened Warrior Goddess Fitness, where you can find the support, the nurture, and the community that you need to find resilience and strength to slowly pick yourself up and move through that pain to the other side. The problem with most fitness is that it's not geared towards someone in your position. It's too hard, it's intimidating, it's too intense. We deliver yoga that's meant to unlock your body, release you from your pain, and through accomplishing more and more challenges, will help you build confidence in yourself again. Our group fitness classes, and I'm saying this not exactly knowing what it's like, our group fitness classes are designed to help you unlock your inner strength. The act of lifting heavy things and seeing yourself slowly begin to lift more fills you with strength and confidence in yourself that extends into other parts of your life. So you can realize that you're not a victim, you're a warrior goddess. How does that sound to you?
Sounds great. It's on point.
Does that
Thank you.
feel authentic to you?
Yes.
Is that what you strive for in your classes? Strive to
Yes.
accomplish?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Amazing. So I hope everyone watching was able to see how I barely talked about her classes, but when I did, I spoke about them in context of how it solves this person's problem and makes their life better. Now, Holly, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen and show your website.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And I just want to show you how, if I were someone brand new coming to your website, I'm going to see Warrior Goddess Fitness. And as I said in the presentation, I'm going to fill in the blank of what that means. I see boutique fitness and yoga studio. So again, I'm going to fill in the blank of what that means to me. I see this photo of the front of your studio, and then I see some updates about some different events and classes. So I'm not seeing anything here that immediately communicates to me the value of what it means to come to your classes or how you're different from the other boutique fitness or yoga that's in your area. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If I contrast that with one of the clients I mentioned in my presentation, Q the Core, the copy that we were able to develop as a result of developing their brand strategy comes straight out with the value that they bring to someone's life. Self-care that doesn't feel selfish. They recognize that the problem they're solving is this: when you're at your breaking point, but don't feel like you have time to invest in yourself, we make self-care simple, effective, and on your schedule so you can feel strong, capable, and energized again. People are only interested in your classes if they understand the value that it's going to bring to their life. So we have to package what you do in why someone should do it, how it's going to make their life better. And every single one of you on this call has slightly different values and beliefs that's going to color how you package what you do differently, which is what allows you to stand apart from everybody else. We show a lot of empathy to what this person's struggling with right away on their page. And then we contrast that with the value that coming to their Pilates classes provides to their life. So this is just an example of what it means to develop a really strong brand strategy that draws people into a story. So the very last thing that I have to share with you is that I'm going to have to skip past these because I went through some of these already. And I want to save time. These are some of the benefits of developing a really strong brand strategy. If you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, another thing I need to focus on, a brand strategy can really clear up a lot of struggles that you're experiencing in other areas of your business, because it provides so much more clarity behind everything that you do. But the last thing that I want to do is reveal a little surprise to all of you that I want to offer each of you what I offered Holly here. So if you follow this link that's on the screen, I'm also dropping it in the chat right now. You're going to have the opportunity to get on a call with me and go through the same process that I went through with Holly. And
That's awesome, Barry.
There
I'm
we go.
sure everyone's scrambling now to kind of get that link, but just so everyone knows, so the chat's back open. You can see the link that's in there, so you can click on it rather than trying to copy it just by your eyeball.
That's right.
And if it's okay with you, Barry, do you mind if I start going? We have some really great questions.
Yes, absolutely.
So maybe you can keep that up on the screen.
I'll keep this up on the screen. There is a little caveat. There's only 12 spots that I have currently available. So you want to book right away. If you are watching the replay, I'm keeping a separate 12 spots available for you watching the replay. So you're going to want to grab one of those. And the last thing that I want to give you is a copy of, if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about here today, I have this Why You're Not Selling Out Your Classes ebook. There's an audiobook version because I know you're all very busy business owners on the go, so you can listen to it in the car. This includes journal prompts, similar to what I asked Holly here today, to help you get clear on the problem that you solve and how you're uniquely equipped to solve it. It also includes a free mini course called Attract an Avalanche of New Clients. And you can get that by going to fitnesscareermastery.com/avalanche. And now I'm ready to answer some questions. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, awesome, no problem. That was great. I know Holly really appreciated that. And we've got some great questions. One of them is from Brian. He says, I offer MMA, CrossFit, small group personal training in a 20,000 square foot facility with training equipment, childcare, and tanning. How do I narrow down to a single message?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, so I was excited to get to it.
I see this a lot too. People wanting to offer more to appeal to more people. And again, we kind of run into the same problem that I talked about earlier. Our messaging starts to get watered down. It starts to become a little more confusing as to what exactly you do, how this is going to make my life better, etc. So what I would guide you to do is get, where'd the question go?
It's in the answered because
Oh, it's in the answered.
Yeah.
So Brian, it all stems from getting clear on what problem it is that you're solving. And then when it comes to what it is that you offer, all of those things need to serve the purpose of fulfilling that promise, right? So for instance, MMA, CrossFit, small group personal training, childcare, tanning, without having a conversation with you, just knowing the sport of MMA, CrossFit, small group personal training, it sounds like you're speaking to someone who's very competitive. It sounds like you're speaking to someone who's a high achiever, but also maybe a parent. And as a parent myself, I know that it's so difficult to feel like myself. And like I'm progressing in my life when I'm having to put myself last on my list, right? And I'm having to put the needs of my child first, which I'm more than happy to do. But what sounds like a great problem that you're solving is you're able to help these parents feel strong again, feel capable, feel like the people they were before they became parents. And the fact that you offer childcare makes it so much easier for them to get in there and accomplish those things, right? So, and maybe there's a way to weave everything in, but the tanning, maybe that's a way to help them feel like themselves again and feel confident, right? Because they feel strong in their body, they feel in control of their life again, they feel like they're in the driver's seat.
So
And
Barry, are you
then,
saying that he has to less look at like taking away one of these offerings and focus more on the fact that he's got childcare so he can service all these parents with these different offerings?
I don't know exactly without talking to him, and
Okay.
I wouldn't want to give a definitive answer without having a conversation with you, Brian. So I hope I get the opportunity to do that. But just based on your question, that is how I would coach you to move forward. And it might involve taking something away, which might make everything easier for you, and just focus on what are the, again, coming back to what I said initially, what are the things that are going to deliver on the promise best? You have to think of yourself as a doctor. You're giving, these people are coming to you and they're saying, my shoulder hurts, right? Or I have this cough. And it's up to you to come up with the perfect prescription based on your knowledge and expertise of what's going to take away those symptoms that they're experiencing, right? It's not about selling them the specific fix. It's about showing them that you can solve the problem.
That's a great answer. Okay, another really good question from Cameron. Our business boomed off the popularity of a single person. Now we've grown to multiple trainers and locations, and trying to be an actual brand and experience has been difficult. Any tips?
Again, Cameron, I'd love to have a conversation with you so I could have a little more context around what it is that you offer and your specific beliefs and values around what that is. The popularity of a single person sounds like maybe a
Star
celebrity
trainer.
came in
Yeah.
or something like that, and now your brand's blowing up. First of all, congratulations. That's amazing. In order to sustain that boom, though, you're absolutely right. We need to get really clear on what this brand is all about, what your business, how your business solves a problem in someone's life. That's why businesses exist, to solve problems, right? So we'd have to build a story around that. Now, I'm sorry, that's the best answer that I can give you without more context. But again, it comes down to where I like to start is getting really clear on the problem that you're solving for people. That usually points directly toward the type of person that you're best equipped to serve. Well, the process that I take my clients through is a process of getting really clear on what I did with Holly, right? What's Holly's unique perspective around fitness? So I'd ask you the same thing. What is it that you value about fitness or about what it is that you offer? How did it change your life, or how do you believe it can change other people's lives? That usually points towards the problem that you're best equipped to solve, and we can kind of build more of a strategy around that.
Okay, another great question from Ali. How do you reach clients to come to a new second location and distinguish from your first location?
I think my question is why you want to distinguish from your first location. I'm not sure that I would want to ask that question to you, why that is the goal for you. The best way I can answer this question is I'm working with a client now who owns a business in Seattle, Washington, and purchased another business in Portland, Oregon. Now, the business in Seattle has been very, very successful over a period of 12 years, which is a long time. And they just purchased a studio in Portland, and they're really struggling to get new people into that studio. And what we discovered is that they don't have the depth of impact in that community in Portland, and they weren't doing a strong enough job of communicating why someone should come into that new location in the first place. So we're doing a lot of work to tighten up their entire brand strategy so we can not only reflect what we want both businesses to communicate, but take some of the magic from this Seattle location and make it clear how people in Portland can experience that magic too. So I'd actually encourage you to provide the same experience, because that's what a really strong brand does, right? You can go into, think of some of your favorite stores or brands, it's going to feel the same, even if it's a little bit different, no matter what location you go into.
Yeah, that consistency. Okay, I think we have time for a couple more. One is from Tiffany. How do you remain competitive as a boutique Pilates studio when Club Pilates is less than a mile away?
I saw this question come up. This is a great question. I say it's great because I hear this question a lot. I know it's a question that a lot of people struggle with. So it's so easy to fall into looking at what everyone else is doing and trying to differentiate yourself based on that, when all the answers you need are already inside of you. So what I would do is draw out what you believe about Pilates and what it can do for people, and build a whole strategy around that, which just that in and of itself is going to be different from Club Pilates, right? And the fact that you have the ability to go really deep on how you craft that experience and craft that language is going to make it so easy for you to separate yourself from Club Pilates, because they're a huge brand, right? They have a lot of money behind what they do. They can afford to try to appeal to more people. So their messaging is going to be more vague, more watered down. You have the ability to draw so many more people in by making a very clear and specific message to them about what coming to your Pilates class can do for their life. I have a lot of Pilates clients right now, and I know that many of their clients and potential clients are really afraid of the machine, Megaformer, Xformer, body balance, whatever it happens to be, right? It's an intimidating piece of equipment. And I know Club Pilates doesn't do anything to address that or say anything about it. And they have a very different campaign around why you should come into their class. So you have a huge opportunity to speak to people who aren't familiar with Pilates, are intimidated by the equipment, are not drawn to that messaging, and help gather them around what it is that they want from life.
All right, I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay. Okay, from Jaron, we started as a physical therapy in 2014 and stand out in the market there, added a wellness department, rank #1 on Google there, but our adult group training just isn't getting the same traction despite the space and atmosphere being one of a kind. This makes it tough to speak to one audience with our social media and website. I guess the question is, how do you speak to one audience?
It's a funny thing, Jaron. I've spoken to a lot of physical therapists who talk about a specific problem of people who are in physical therapy, whose insurance has run out, and they are not physically ready to join your average group fitness class. What happens to those people? It sounds to me like you are perfectly primed to create that bridge for people. I'm going to add the asterisk again. I would like to be able to speak to you to better direct you. But since you have such a successful physical therapy business and you are already speaking to people who are struggling with pain, I think you have a prime opportunity with your group training to draw in people who maybe are beyond the need of physical therapy, but are not ready to go into your average group fitness class, which, as we know, a lot of them are very hard, right? Very challenging. A lot of instructors, that's their goal, to make the class as hard as possible, right? And that's not what a lot of people are looking for and need. So without knowing any more, I think you have a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, I think that's great. Actually, we had a similar question from somebody else just on how do you take those clients who are physical therapy clients into like group classes within the same facility. So I think you just kind of answered that. Maybe it could be more of a bridge rather than a scary jump off.
Yeah, I think if you take anything away from today, shifting your focus away from trying to sell what you do to trying to sell how you solve a problem is going to take you in the best direction moving forward. And going back to the presentation, that was the shift that Steve Jobs made. That's why I told that story. Whatever you believe about Steve Jobs or Apple, the lesson is what matters. He was selling the features of the computer at first. And then he started selling an idea about how owning this computer could help you achieve who you want to become. We want to frame our fitness businesses around how coming to our classes can help these people achieve what they want to achieve in their life, whether that's feeling like their cup is full again, living life with less pain, feeling like they're not struggling with depression or anxiety anymore. It could be an aesthetic result, but if we dig deeper, that's not actually why people want the aesthetic result anyway. They want to wear the clothes they want to wear. They want to feel sexy. They want to watch their partner's head turn when they walk by. They want to feel confident, right? These are the things that people want. These are the things that people value. And all of those things can be accomplished by a fitness class, but we have to talk about what we do differently in order to help people recognize that they can get that from here, and that it's not just about the slog, the chore of coming in to burn calories and lift heavy things, right? It can be an enjoyable experience that can find joy in the journey rather than just coming to a class.
Amazing. Thanks, Barry. We really appreciate it. For everybody who missed, there's lots of questions still. So for people who still want to get in touch, Barry had posted his way to get in touch with him, and how to sign up. If you missed that and you're really interested, you can obviously connect with Barry and get his services for some coaching or something like that to further delve into this. So we appreciate it. We'll be sending out some links to everybody who's registered as well. So not to worry, there's still opportunity to get in touch.
Yeah, please. You can follow us at Fitness Career Mastery on Instagram. We have a podcast called Fitness Career Mastery. You can find that anywhere. Go to fitnesscareermastery.com to learn more. My wife, Shay, and business partner, is doing a presentation in 2 days on Thursday around how to become radiantly magnetic as an instructor. So you could check that out at our website. Please follow us, and you can reach me at barry@fitnesscareermastery.com or any of the means that I put up on the screen. I really, really enjoyed being here. Deborah, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to Wellness Living, and thank you to everyone who joined here today and stuck around all the way to the end. I hope you got a ton of value out of being here, and I look forward to taking you from here onto the next steps.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.